Hi, friends. Welcome back to
Wish You Love Podcast.
I'm Marilyn.
And I'm Jazmine.
And thank you so much for being here.
We're so excited to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. If you are new here, welcome. Welcome to our group of friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like it's a friendship community. Yeah, somebody had told me, and it was at her party, that they felt like when they were listening to the podcast that it was just like a bunch of friends talking and they felt part of the conversation. So that was really nice to hear. So yeah, like our little friend group. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to YouTube or check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and TikTok and Instagram. Yeah, just overall stay connected with us.
Stay connected.
Follow, subscribe.
Do all the things. Give us a rating. Give us a rating.
We have a link in our bio on Instagram. Yeah. Please submit any questions if you want to be part of the podcast. That could be something you want us to talk about, maybe advice or something, just whatever it is, just share with us and we'll share it here on the podcast.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. And so we are going to do our little opener question. I know a few months ago we had talked about our lifestyle when it comes to our eating habits and our working out habits, or just pretty much our overall wellness. I should say our wellness. And so we said we were going to do a check-in in June and we didn't do it. So here we are in July going to do the check-in. So Jazmine, how have you been feeling about your overall wellness? Like, what are you trying to work towards? What have you accomplished so far, maybe mentally or physically?
Yeah, I think for sure I'm so glad that I'm able to move again.
Oh, yes.
So that is like my main thing above anything else. As you guys heard in the previous podcast episodes, working towards that 5K. So I think that's like the thing for me wellness wise. Like, I'm finally able to move. I'm so grateful that God is healing me and that I'm continuing to heal and that I'm working towards that. In terms of food wise, it's been up and down for me. I had like my Texas trip and like, I don't know, when this was my first like company trip, like work trip that I go to. And I just didn't want to be that person to be like, I can't eat this or that's unhealthy or this. And like, if anyone's been to Texas, it's like heavy food. Like, it's literally like barbecue and just like heavy food.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure delicious though.
It was so good. So I like just kind of like rolled with it. I was not picky or anything. It's just whatever my team wanted to eat or whatever reservations were made. Like, I just went with it. But anyways, eating wise, 50-50. Some days are good, some days are not good. But I think overall my main focus is, and what I want to highlight the most is being able to move again. So that's for me. What about you, Marilyn?
Yeah, I feel... Well, first of all, I want to touch on yours. I think that's great. I think that's normal. You're having like a normal experience of like it takes time. And also just sometimes life gets in the way where you can't eat how you want to and you can't move how you want to. So you're kind of like rolling with the punches of what you can do. But I feel like you were doing really good when you weren't like traveling and all that stuff of just being consistently kind of strict with yourself, you know? So that's really good. I feel like she's a lot more hardcore than me. They did like a I don't know when, because you guys did one that like you couldn't eat sugar
for a month.
I could never, like, I mean, I shouldn't say never, but like I wouldn't want to. Like, that sounds really hard.
But it helped because my boyfriend was doing it with me. But like now in life he's not doing things with me.
You're like, oh,
he's kind of
it's
like
a lot harder now. No, that's good. No, I mean, in that sense of like committing to something, like that sounds, I don't want to do that. Like, that sounds really, really hard. So that's what I meant. Like, I think you're more hardcore about like trying different things, you know?
Yeah.
But I have overall been feeling really good. As you guys know, I'm in education, so it's summertime and I'm not working. So all I have to do is work out and focus on that. So I think I said in the last episode that my two main goals have been, I think it was in the beginning of July. My main goals have been to just work out and apply for jobs. That was it. And so I've been really just focusing on my body and what I put into it. I have been strict with myself in the fact of I want an Oreo, you can't have the Oreo type of thing, because I do have Oreos literally over there behind me. And I want them, but I can't have them type of thing. And I think even just having it as a temptation, I think is good for me, because if it's not there, out of sight, out of mind. But if it's there and I still don't eat it, that says a lot to me. Discipline. Yeah, discipline. And so I've been doing great when it comes to working out. I already see my body changing and altering. I see my stomach getting flatter, which is crazy. I haven't been as strict with the calorie deficit, but I'm still doing it actually. So I haven't been actually calculating it like I used to. I think if I calculated it, I would lose weight faster, because you never know, like a simple thing could be a lot of calories, you know? So what I've been doing is I've been just working my butt off, working out, and making sure that I'm not overeating or eating too much of the bad thing. So yeah. So I think I've been doing pretty good, and I have found a good balance. I think at some point, maybe when I get back from Hawaii, I think when this episode drops, let me just check. Oh, yeah. So this week when it drops, I'm going to leave to Hawaii. I'm not there yet, but I think after the Hawaii trip, I'm going to be like the last month of my summer break. I think I'm going to be more strict of like calculating my stuff, but I've been still like eating well and, you know, having pizza night with my friends where we make pizza, which is healthier than like buying it, making pizza and, you know, going to Yogurtland with my friends. So it's not like I've been so restrictive of myself, but I have been, especially on days I don't hang out with people, I'm like, okay, what am I going to eat for breakfast? It consists of spinach. It consists of avocado, and it's like half an avocado. Like you'd be surprised at how much calories an avocado has, but it's good for you. So it's good calories, but still calories. So I think I'm very proud of myself, and I feel like I finally unlocked how to lose weight, because for a long time I was just working out, but I was like kind of eating what I wanted. But I was also a student, so it wasn't like I had all the time to think about all this stuff that I'm thinking about now. So I feel very happy with where I'm at, and I feel like comfortable wearing clothes that I haven't felt comfortable wearing in a long time. Like even this shirt, like I wasn't wearing it for a while because I felt like my arms looked super big. And now I'm like, I wore it yesterday to the beach. Like I didn't care.
Cute.
Yeah.
I love that for you. And I can definitely see that you're radiating that. So
yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
I was going to say something.
Also,
Brain fart.
I haven't been weighing myself, but the last time I checked, I've lost almost 10 pounds.
Wow.
Maybe at this point, by the time this episode drops, it might be 10 pounds. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's been quite a bit of pounds.
Wow.
The Oreos do damage to us. Her boyfriend likes Oreos too. They're so good. That's my weakness. They're like 55 calories for one. So do the math.
Yeah. I have a really close girlfriend of mine, and she's so silly. For her religion, for a certain part, I think it's only like a month or 2 months, she has to fast, and I think she has to go vegan.
Yeah, is it Ramadan?
Vegan?
I think it's vegetarian. One of my students was doing that. Yeah.
Her religion, she does that. And so I laughed because for a while, all she was eating was Oreos and
what in the world?
Fries.
What?
Because she's not like a healthy
Oh,
queen.
no.
Like, I love her, but she's not.
Not like,
you know who you
I'll
are
get a
if you're
salad.
listening. Yeah, no. But she's so funny because she would tell me, she's like, I'm not losing weight. And I'm not, like, you know? And
well,
I'm like,
yeah.
And then I'm like, well, yeah, Oreos are vegan, but they're not.
Just because it says it's vegan doesn't mean you're going to, it's like
it's healthy. Yeah.
It just means it has
like,
no dairy.
Fries are vegan, but it's not,
yeah,
you know?
healthy for you. Yeah.
So.
But a potato is, you just don't fry it, you know?
Yeah.
Or you can do it at home. You can make it at home, and it's much healthier than buying it from like Chick-fil-A or whatever.
Yeah. So I thought about that right now.
That's so funny.
Yeah. It's so true. Like,
yeah,
we eat things that we don't think about. I don't eat Oreos because I don't like chocolate, but I know I've seen Angel where like he'll pop like 8 of them.
Oh my gosh, like, so easy.
Yeah.
So easy.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
And I'm guilty because I just bought him a pack the other day because they have Star Wars.
I sent him.
Starios.
I sent him that on Instagram because I seen it. I was like, Star Wars Oreos.
Yeah, I had seen it and I bought it for him, and I was like, dang.
That's very nice of you.
I am just bringing temptation to him.
Anthony would not buy it for me. He'll be like, nope, need to be disciplined.
Yeah.
Because he knows like I eat the whole thing so fast with some soy milk. Oh, that sounds so good. Well, let's get into the episode so I can eat something, not my Oreos, because I will if I don't get some. I noticed that you need to make sure you're eating. Also, just in case that you're doing the calorie deficit, my top fruits that are really good for you, obviously, I mean, fruits are good for you, but they have low calories, or my number one is watermelon. And then my number two is apple. And then I just told you my number three. I think
Pineapple.
Was it pineapple? Maybe pineapple. Probably pineapple. Sorry. And another vegetable that's super low in calories is carrots. So some tips for y'all. So when I'm hungry and I need a snack, that's what I do. 45 calories. What is that? Nothing. Let me do some jumping jacks. Burn it off right now. Super easy. I don't know. I love it. Yeah. But okay, so let's get into the question of the episode.
Yes. So this question, Marilyn has picked it out. I said this before. When she picks out questions, she tends to go really in depth with it, which we love. So Marilyn's going to kick us off. But just so that you guys know what the question is, get into your reflection mode, pull out your journals. This is today's question. Are you approaching life with a scarcity mindset or an abundance mindset? Marilyn is going to kick us off, and she's going to give explanation, because some people, like maybe myself, we kind of need those examples to define how we are approaching life.
Yeah, so maybe you haven't heard of an abundance mindset or scarcity mindset. So first, I will give you examples of what a scarcity mindset looks like, okay? So seeing the glass half empty, seeing troubles and problems, focuses on what can't be helped, steps back in fear during hard times. There will never be enough is something people say to themselves with a scarcity mindset. If you win, I lose. Stingy with knowledge, contracts, and compassion. I don't even know what that means. Pessimistic about the future. Tough times are ahead. They are entitled, cautious, and fearful. Hoards things from others and thinks they have all the answers. But with an abundance mindset, then you're living life through seeing the glass half full. Finds opportunities, utilizes what is available and already known, has optimism about the future. There will always be more. We can all win. Happy to share knowledge and contacts and compassion. Optimistic about the future. The best is yet to come. They are thankful, appreciative, and confident. Generous with others. Open-minded to learn and see all sides. So that is the difference between an abundance mindset and a scarcity mindset. And of course, I have a little story to share. So on Father's Day in June, I had went to church with my dad, and it was really nice because it was just some daddy-daughter time. And the pastor there was amazing. His sermon was so good. Spoke to me. And so one of the things I wrote down right here, I wrote it in my Bible because I was like, this is good. Like, that spoke to me. And it says the enemy has a scarcity mindset and it will never be enough. Fear is the prayer of the enemy. We must have faith. So, are you approaching life with a scarcity mindset or an abundance mindset? And I really wanted to reflect on this question because I think at a certain point in my life, I was kind of both. I think the scarcity mindset of, especially there will never be enough, of that I'm not enough, that my degree is not enough, that this isn't enough, I need to do this, I need to do that, and all that stuff. I feel like I was living that, but at the same time also seeing the positive in many situations. I think now, after everything that the transformations that I have been through that I've shared with you guys, I really do feel like I fully live in an abundance mindset. And you know, it gets hard when times get tough, but as of right now, like everything, the abundance mindset, I'm like, yeah, I lived through that. Like I feel like I exude that when people meet me and how I speak to people and how I speak to myself. I really do feel like the world is my oyster. Why not? Type of thing. How far can I go? Like we were saying with Moana. But I love that he said the enemy has a scarcity mindset. When people are against you, or, because he's talking about the devil, obviously, but when we're talking about like even people haters, right? People want you to think that you're not enough. People want you to think that you can't go for that job position. People want you to think you can't run that 3K. You're not fit. You never done it before. Like people want you to think all these negative things about yourself. And so it's important to think, how am I speaking to myself? How am I speaking to my family, my friends? How am I living my life? And to answer the question, I feel like I am living in an abundance mindset. And I think this podcast has helped me as well, because it's made us think about so many journaling questions that I may not have reflected on unless we had the podcast. And so I'm very appreciative of the podcast and hearing how you answer questions and getting, different perspectives of life, because it is easy to have an abundance mindset when all things are going good. You know what I mean? So when things get hard, what is that mindset that you're having? But yeah, that's like kind of the message that I wanted to share with this question. And it's okay if you are living in a scarcity mindset, because maybe you didn't even realize it, and it's okay. Maybe you were raised to think like that, and it's okay.
Love it. Thank you so much for giving us those examples and for sharing your story with that. The question, to repeat it, is, are you approaching life with a scarcity mindset or an abundance mindset? I know when you were mentioning, I was taking some notes in terms of and I might have to see them again, but I think where I'm at in life right now, I would say I'm 50-50. I would say that there are moments where I do come with scarcity mindset. I know some of the things you mentioned was fear and hard times, or seeing that the glass is half empty. And I think it stems from how I overthink things. And so for me, it was a good example is I had dinner with Angel the other day, and he was sharing about a conversation that he had with the manager. And it's not a big deal, but immediately I had that scarcity mindset of, oh my God, that fear, right? Oh my gosh, what if you get in trouble? Or what if something happens? Or what if you lose your job and everything? And he had to just keep reminding me, hey, I'm not, this isn't something to be fearful about. It's just so that that I had, this happened, and that I'm with my manager and stuff. And so I even realized for a quick sec, and we talked about it together. It was damn, this is probably the last thing he needs to hear, or that I should be saying. And so me approaching it, with the fear and maybe making him now overthink it is not good. And so that's why I say 50-50, because there's part of me where sometimes I do think like that, or I do say things, or I'm oh my gosh, I'm living in that fear. I'm looking at that glass half empty. I mentioned a couple weeks ago, and I was damn, I'm not going to get fit this year, or I'm not going to do the 5K. Most importantly, that one, I'm not going to do the 5K, but it's okay, I'm just looking about what has happened this year and not what's left of it, and how I can do better. But then I also feel I do have that abundance mindset sometimes. Specifically, the things that called out to me was, I do believe that the best is yet to come. And I feel if I know that I do believe it, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be working as hard as I do now financially with my job, and the way I'm saving money, and the conversations that I have with those around me of how excited I am to see this new version of me come, or this new, having kids in the future. I have that faith, and that those are going to be amazing times. Also, the we can all win mindset. I live to see my friends thrive and have good moments, and I love celebrating those moments, because I think if you win, I win. And if I'm around in a circle with people of winners, I feel that's a beautiful circle to be around with. And most importantly, thankful and appreciative. I don't know about the confident because I'm not so confident, but at least the thankfulness and the like appreciating it. I do think I'm like that because I always feel like gratitude is like the number one thing like that I love to share and that I like to have. And yeah, so I would say 50-50 for me. I feel like I'm living a life with both of them. And I think it comes with time and maybe experience and awakenings where I can hopefully shift to more of an abundance and let go and do what we talked about in the beginning, faith over fear. So I've been doing better, but I would say I'm, in all honesty, 50-50.
You know, what's funny is that when you were talking about your boyfriend's story, I thought of my boyfriend's story. And I have one that actually, it's a perfect example of how sometimes your abundance mindset isn't sometimes useful. So he had something not similar, but where something bad happened. And my mindset is like, this happened for a reason. God has a plan, a purpose. And it was something like that nobody wants to happen to them. And it's like, sometimes you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear the positive sometimes. You kind of want to be like, in the scarcity mindset, sometimes you want people to be fearful sometimes for things that happen. And so sometimes it's hard balancing the abundance mindset, because I do believe that nothing that happens to me is for my bad anymore. I'm telling you, that shift of the faith over fear has really changed me. But sometimes like people don't really, not that he didn't like it. He's like, I know, I was thinking that, but like, you know, it's hard to think like that during hard times, you know, but just having that faith and not letting fear overtake. And when he said that that was like the prayer to the devil, it made me think, yeah, because the enemy wants you to not think you're beautiful. They want you to think that you're on survival mode. They want you to feel that. Right? Because those aren't good feelings. To be scared all the time or to worry. Those are not great feelings. And so they want you to feel like that. And so that made me even more like, I'm not going to let him win over me. I'm like, no. You know, so yeah, I wanted to touch on one thing. Where is it? I will say, I feel like when I was reading the abundant mindset, the thing that stood out the most for me that reminded me of you is the generous with others. I feel like you're very generous. I think that Jazmine is a great friend because she's somebody that roots for you. Not all friends root for you. Not all family roots for you. And that's just real. Like, not all people will be there during your successful moments, and especially during the hard times. But like, you know, we talked about like, look around when times are hard, who is there, but as well, look around when it's your birthday, when you're celebrating, who's there, who made the time to be there. You want to go with that? Go ahead.
Yeah. And that's why I mentioned it in this earlier this month, that I really took note of who showed up.
Me too.
Like, I really took note of who showed up.
Right.
And not only like who showed up, what kind of energy did you bring?
Did they bring? Yeah.
And that was big.
You couldn't speak more to me, honestly. And you couldn't.
And like, I don't know what it was about this birthday, but I was so like, whoever showed up shows up because they want to be there. And because they, and whoever did show up, you best believe I took note of that. Sorry, excuse my language. I freaking took note of who showed up. And I took note of like the things that like they didn't, like, for example, like that one friend I'm telling you guys about, like, you Ubered 30 minutes which is not, it's kind of far.
That's
like
far.
30 to 40 minutes.
That's like a $40 Uber.
And it's expensive. And you stayed and you brought really good energy. Like, I took note of that. I took note of my boyfriend's sister, who I literally
went to a concert. Concerts are exhausting.
Will always like she showed up for me, her and her husband. Like, I will forever, ever like remember that moment of like, dang, like you really went to a concert. You were probably already exhausted and tired and like, you know, because it's like you're got ready for it. You're actually there. Getting out of a concert usually takes a long time.
Yeah, and you're tired. I'm tired after a concert.
And on top of that, you came in and like you showed up.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you brought in like the most beautiful energy ever of like, hey, I'm here. Let me get you a drink. Like, let's have fun. And like, they stayed till the lights turned on. So yeah, I agree with that. Like, that is why, like, yes, like, who shows up for you in the hard times and who shows
Also
up for you on the good times.
Right.
Right? Because I know a lot of people who, like, and even some that are close to me who just decided not to go. And, you know, it's fine. It is what it is. But, like, I'm not even going to focus on, like, who didn't go. Like, let me take note of that. I'm going to just take note of who did come and who did stay. And, yeah.
You know how I was telling you guys that I have a hard time forgiving? I said that's something like you've never really admitted. I think it was that episode or something like that. And it is so true. In that same service that I had went to on Father's Day, they were talking about forgiveness and how it's so important. And I just realized I'm just working on that. I'm still working on that. It's so hard for me to forgive. One thing about me, and Anthony knows this, is I don't forget. I don't forget the look you give me. I don't forget how you spoke to me. I don't forget if you weren't there. I don't forget if you were there. One thing about me, I'm like a freaking elephant. I don't forget. So when you're going toe to toe with me in a fight, like argument, not like fist fight, you better have your scripts ready because my shit is lined up with citations, with the date. Like, I'm kid you not. Don't come for me. Like, seriously. But I hear you on that, and I'm just like, I'm right there. Same thing for me. And yeah. I forgot where I was going with this, but before we end the episode, I did want to read, because they had wrote a little something about scarcity thinking and abundance thinking, and I just wanted to read it. So, scarcity thinking, there will never be enough, competes to stay on top, hoards things from others, won't share knowledge, won't offer help to others, suspicious of all others, resents competition, afraid of being replaced, believes times are tough, believes the pie is shrinking, thinks small and avoids risks, fears change. Abundance thinking, there will always be more, collaborates to stay on top, generous with others, shares knowledge, freely offers help to others, trust and builds rapport, welcomes competition, strives to grow, believes the best is yet to come, believes the pie is growing, thinks big and embraces risk, take ownership of change. And it's so important to remember that if it's for you, it'll be for you. So like everybody who graduated with me, obviously we're going for the same thing. And there's only one position, right? But the thing is that I'm not thinking in a scarcity mindset, because I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. So I'm not scared of you, bye. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, I feel like people who don't like sharing resources or don't like, they're just honestly like gatekeepers. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Like, I'll share with you because I have nothing to fear. You know what I'm saying? Like if we all can one day work together, and we obviously all like each other, then that's a win. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to stomp on people to get to the top. I'm going to get to the top by working, collaborating with others, by, you know, being a good person. I don't know. It's
you versus you.
You versus, exactly.
Not you versus your cousin, or you versus your friend, or or your boyfriend. I know sometimes
those are the worst friends
that are like that.
If they're like me versus you, those are the worst friends. Like, if you can't talk to your friends about the great things that are happening in your life, that's not a friend. Like, they're low-key wishing bad for you. Like, don't speak to people who aren't like, oh my gosh, no way. Like, aren't as happy for you as you're happy for them, or that you're happy for yourself. Like, that's just so important. And just to be weary of people. Like, what are their reactions when you tell them good news? What are their reactions when you tell them bad news? You know, just being very wary, because it's so hard to, although I will say one thing, a scarcity mindset was not trusting people. I will say, I think that if I do have any attributes of that, I will say that I don't trust many people. So maybe that. But that's also with my experience, past experiences has made me not trust people.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anything else to add on that?
No, I just think it's good reflection question. And I think it's also good to go a little deeper than just the surface.
Surface level.
Like kind of like what you were saying, like who in your life, okay, like, I don't know, this is a little like too deep and too intense, but like, let's say you have something coming up and you want to share, maybe jot down like who you shared it with and what was the energy from it. And like that can, like, that's what I mean by deeper, not just like, who did I, like, you know, I'm just going to share like,
right.
Or like, in my case, my birthday, like, it wasn't just like, cool, like you came, I've known you the longest, I expected you to come. It's like, no, but like go deeper, like, think about how much that Uber would have cost them.
Yeah.
Think about their time. Think about the energy that they brought in. Think about, you know, the money that they spent. Like my cousin, he's freaking love him. He literally spent like $200, I think, or more at that bar. But he bought me a drink, and like I see things like that. Like I'm taking note of. Like, dang, like this wasn't a cheap birthday celebration for you, but you had a good time, I had a good time, and you showed up. So
it's because you're very grateful. You're a very grateful person. Because some people like honestly have the mindset of like, yeah, you should buy me a drink, it's my birthday. You know? But Jasmine's like, you don't have to buy me anything, but when you do, I'm very appreciative. I take note of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's important because honestly, her taking note as well isn't a negative thing, or it isn't for to see who did or who didn't. Yeah. It's more so to, like she was saying earlier today off camera, of like, I still need to message people about, you know, thanking them for my gifts and stuff like that. It's also taking note to show your love for them and the gratitude and all that.
100%. Yeah. So lots of reflection in this episode and things to think about in a deeper surface.
Love it. Love it. Yes. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and just ponder on scarcity or abundance mindset and think, where are you lying? Are you in the middle? Are you all the way to the left, all the way to the right? Just think about it. And how can you move towards where you want to go towards, you know?
100%.
Thank you. Yes.
And above all else, we wish you love. Bye, friends.